Hey Billy, I know I'm probably late on this, but I did want to do a video response. Let's see. Here it is. It starts in chapter 13 of 1 Corinthians and verse 4. It says, "Love is patient and it is kind. Love is not jealous and it does not brag. It is not proud. Love is not rude. It is not selfish and does not get upset with others. Love does not count up wrongs that have been done." How many of us women do that? I mean, seriously, the guys joke about us keeping little files, and when it's convenient, we pull up those files of all the things that, so-and-so's done wrong. Men can do it too, but it says love does not do that. Love is not happy with evil, but happy with the truth. Love patiently accepts all things. It always trusts, always hopes, and always remains strong. Love never ends. That's just one of my favorite verses, and I'll share with you my story and also why I think that it's my favorite. As a teenager, my main goal, once I even became interested in guys, was to get married and have my own children, and I went about it the wrong way. Was pretty, needy about it. I pretty much smothered the guys that I dated, and I didn't know what real love was because I didn't see it at home. Basically, you've seen my other videos about, my life story on abuse and stuff. You'll know what I'm talking about. But I went through an abusive household, basically, in a nutshell. So I didn't really know what love was. And my mom had her own idea of what love was. And I think that's the problem. It's like the meaning of life. That was a good point that you made, Billy, because everybody has their own definition of what love is. And, the whole feelings and the tingling and everything, I don't think that's wrong. I really do not think that's wrong because everybody has their own definition of it. I don't think there's, out of all the videos that I have seen, there's not a wrong answer, really. I think it's a combination of all of those things. And of course, you go back to, like I said, you look at the scripture and you'll see what love and what love isn't according to God. And if there's any of those things there in a relationship that shouldn't be there, then it's safe to say that that isn't love. But in my own story, in my own life, growing up as a teenager and stuff, not only was I really one of those type of girls that was just real smothering, real needy, dependent, I gave in a lot of times before I really became serious about my relationship with God and everything. I let the guys talk me into having sex with them. Or, in all fairness, I was the one who encouraged it a lot of the time. And it broke my heart one time because this guy it was his first time for him. We both were Christians. We had met at church. And he was scared at first. And I told him, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this. She's wanting to get all up in the camera. my little Hollywood star here. But yeah, it was like that. I mean, he was scared. He really didn't want to do it. And I told him, look, we don't have to do this. No sooner than I said that, he was got determined. But at the end of the night, when it was all said and done, I got home and I just bawled. I cried and I bawled because from my experiences in the past, every time that I let sex get involved in our relationship and let the emotions and the hormones and everything else get involved in the relationship and not invest in getting to know each other, or we thought we did, or we thought that we were in love because the hormones were raging, the next thing we know, the relationship died. And I wasn't the one always breaking up with guys. They were breaking up with me. They had what they wanted, or, just whatever, it just died. So that's why I said, that we need to be careful not to get lust, the hormones, all of that mixed up and confused with love. Because if we define it as just being those things, it's so easy to do, I think. But that's just my opinion, Like I said, there's a lot of different definitions out there. Probably, again, as unique as our fingerprints, as individually and as unique and different as our personalities and our experiences. We really need to be careful. And I can't say that even with my husband, in all honesty, that we didn't struggle with that either. He had been married before, even though he had not been, involved sexually with anybody else for so many years. Once we got to knowing each other and everything, spending time alone together and the circumstances we were in, we went through that temptation. We really did, and I can't lie and say that we didn't. But for us, it's, the scripture also says it's better to marry than to burn with lust. So we felt in obedience to God that we really needed to not stay in a long engagement. So we didn't. 6 months after we met, we did marry. And we're almost into our 3rd year marriage. And my mom even tells me, in comparison to her own relationship, she believes that Kirk and I really do love each other and that we were ready to get married. And she looks at it at the point of fact of a mother. Usually, by this time there's been at least one phone call of, oh, he did so-and-so to me, and oh, we got such a horrible fight, and, but me and Kirk work things out between us, and he's always quick to apologize, and, he feels wrong, even when he, that, like he's done wrong even when he hasn't. I mean, so, I think it's really getting to know people and getting to know what they're about. And when Kirk and I had that first phone call with one another, there was just everything compatible there. From what we believed, what our religion was, and everything. And, what our interests were. We were both also interested in plays, and he already knew of a place that, the Murray's Playhouse that he had been interested in going to, and that Mom and Pop even, his parents would go to, and I've mentioned it before. We finally got a chance to go on his own. He come up with the idea because I mentioned about us not going on a date in a long time. Speaking of, we did go on a date not too long ago, and that's what the pictures were. I had posted as a background for a short amount of time there. I think it was maybe a couple of days, because Mother's Day is just around the corner, and I really like to decorate my pages, whether it be MySpace or whatever, for that occasion, or for whatever, occasion's coming up. So, we went to the movies, and we even went into the little photo booth and got our little pictures made, and Kirk's acting all silly and everything, and just got to act like teenagers again for a little while. We had gotten us a babysitter, and so we just got to act like teenagers again, which we really weren't able to do a whole lot while we were really dating. So I'm rambling now, but I just wanted to give y'all something to think about. Again, think again on the scriptures that I gave you. It's in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4. If you want to go ahead and read the whole chapter, it's the love chapter is what they call it. And, that may be the truest definition of love right there, and